Ever considered the Venezuelan crisis and its global impact? In October 2022, nearly 3 million Venezuelans sought refuge in Colombia due to economic hardship and political unrest. Such a mass exodus, unprecedented in scale, highlights Venezuelans' resilience. Yet, it also poses risks as Colombia grapples with assimilating these newcomers amidst dwindling international funds and a leadership shift under President Gustavo Petro. This exacerbates the displaced Venezuelans' already critical situation. Now, let's take a look at the complications these displaced individuals face. The Venezuelan exodus, one of the most significant global displacements in recent history, has witnessed almost 3 million Venezuelans taking refuge in their neighboring country, Colombia. This mass migration, driven by political instability and economic hardships in Venezuela, has created an unprecedented humanitarian crisis in Colombia. Despite the country's commendable efforts to integrate this massive influx of people into their society, the challenges continue to intensify. One of the primary barriers these refugees face is finding formal employment. Their job hunt is further complicated due to the recent political changes in Colombia under the leadership of the newly elected president Gustavo Petro. Additionally, the escalating cost of living in Colombian cities, coupled with a severe shortage of affordable housing options, adds to their predicament. The complexity of this situation is further heightened as international funding, crucial for running support programs for these displaced individuals, dwindles. This has caused a reduction in financial aid, consistent and effective delivery of vital services such as healthcare, education, food supply, and shelter. However, there is a silver lining in this otherwise grim situation. Numerous Colombian municipalities are proactively emerging as the beacon of hope for these Venezuelan refugees. These local governments are establishing aid centers and implementing innovative socio-economic inclusion measures to lend a helping hand to their Venezuelan counterparts. They truly exemplify compassion and kindness. Now let's shift our focus and examine how other nations are reacting to this critical situation. In the face of a severe displacement crisis, global leaders grapple with the Venezuelan exodus. The Biden administration has quietly moved Venezuelans crossing the US-Mexico border to Colombia, if they previously resided there. Critics claim this decision obstructs migrants from applying for asylum in the US. The US, though, still employs the public health mandate, Title 42, to expedite migrant removal. Concurrently, the US has broadened the reach of Title 42, implementing a plan to permit certain Venezuelan migrants to enter US ports via air, limited to 24,000. This strategy aims to discourage Venezuelans from unlawful entry via the US-Mexico border. Humanitarian groups and the Venezuelan opposition criticize this, arguing the number of legal permits is inadequate, and expelling under Title 42 is unfair. In contrast, Colombia has warmly accommodated the displaced Venezuelans, advancing their integration into society. Regrettably, under President Gustavo Petro's administration, these integration strategies have started to diminish. Further, a decrease in international financial aid for the Venezuelan crisis has impacted essential programs. As the Venezuelan crisis unfolds, the world is grappling to respond effectively. In the midst of uncertainty, refugees persist in their pursuit of survival and dignity. Amid despair, can hope exist? We're spotlighting the resilience of Colombian municipalities. Despite hardships, they extend aid to displaced Venezuelans, embodying humanity in adversity. Concurrently, the US has introduced a program offering some Venezuelans legal migration, though with some skeptical voices. This initiative offers a chance for a better life, yet it doesn't solve the crisis entirely. Current measures favor the well-off, leaving many in the lurch. The Venezuelan crisis is a shared burden and requires more comprehensive solutions. As we conclude, remember, the crisis is our collective responsibility. Let's act to create a world where everyone can thrive with dignity and hope.